on. And now Stan Reiter has a few remarks to make. Stan is tall.
Did you mean that few remarks? It's a pleasure to be at this event in Leo's life. I met Leo through the Coles Commission. That's been mentioned a number of times today. A very influential and important organization. I was a graduate student, and Jacob Marshak stopped me one day after class, and he invited me to come to the Coles Commission. I had no idea what it was. It turned out it was located behind a door opposite the door to the economics department, and all this stuff was going on behind that door and invisible to me as a graduate student. I became Koopman's assistant, and I started bothering him with some ideas that I had. They were not fully formed. Koopmans was a very precise and thinker, very smart. Couldn't figure out what I was talking about. And there was a reason for that. But his solution to the problem was to tell me, after a couple of attempts to understand what I was trying to say, and when I was trying to understand what I was trying to say, he said, you should talk to Leo Hurwitz. And I had no idea who Leo Hurwitz was, and he said, he'll be coming in to attend a Coles Commission staff meeting. Very fine sounding, serious sounding title, but it was that everybody got together in a room with blackboards and they spent the whole day talking at each other about interesting things. So he said, when he comes, I'll introduce you and you can talk with him. And this way he got rid of me for... So Leo did show up, and he was then coming from Ames, Iowa. And they had trains in those days, and that's how he got there, got to Chicago. Well, I was summoned to Koopman's office. Leo was there, we were introduced, and Leo said, let's go for a walk. So we went out, and we spent the rest of the day walking around in Hyde Park and discovering that the ideas that I was groping toward and trying to make straight were similar to the ideas that Leo had about what we now call mechanism design. And that was the beginning of a long relationship, as we know, and intermittent one, because Leo was busy with a lot of stuff and I had a career to make. But it was, from my point of view, a wonderful journey. I have a deadline from. So I'm going to close with one reminiscence about Leo. He rashly told me once that when he was a child, somebody gave him a set of dominoes. And while he was playing with the dominoes, he didn't say this, but what he explained to me was that he discovered a formula that Gauss had invented many, many years ago, and discovered it by, it's the formula for counting. He arrayed the dominoes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And then he had other dominoes, and he arrayed them in reverse order. So starting from the other end. And when you do that, you can see that the sum of the domino numbers is constant. And from that, you can figure out a neat way to add up this, to get that sum. Now, I don't know how old Gauss was when he discovered this, but I do know how old Leo was. He was very young. He probably couldn't read yet. It's amazing that he could count. And I tell this story because I think it is a clue. If you weren't already convinced about Leo's mind, it was a clue that his mind was present when he was 4 years old, or whatever that episode, how old he was when that episode happened. I recently taught my grandson this formula in just that way, no, not with dominoes. And he was very excited about it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan. And that's a very interesting piece of information. I think Gauss was actually older. He was in school when that happened. The probably apocryphal story is that the teacher had set a task to keep the students busy while he wrote personal letters of adding up all the numbers from 1 to 100, and Gauss immediately got the answer in 3 seconds, and everybody else was adding up the numbers from 1 to 100. The teacher was furious. So Leo, congratulations. You were a lot younger than Gauss on that. I would like to call now on Sarah Kogut, who... Can you hear? Oh, okay. Leo has a footnote comment. Will it fit on one page?
Yeah, fine. Can I be? It's really very brief. And do you have? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I have one comment that occurred to me while I was listening to various words of unlimited praise. And that's something that I heard from the executive secretary of the Department of Institute of Meteorology. He said there was a group of us once and we were talking about the weather yesterday. And it was a very stormy kind of summer afternoon weather, and there was hail. And one of the meteorologists present say, you know, I saw some pieces of hail that were 1 inch diameter. And then the man sitting next to him, he said, well, I saw something that was the size of a baseball. And the third one said, well, I saw something that looked more like a football. And there was one man left, and he only made this comment, the first liar hasn't got a chance.